Welcome to Hockey Wiz Talks podcast. In this podcast, I'll be talking about early 2026 NHL playoffs first round projections. In this podcast, I'll be making premature first round playoff matchup projections based on the current standings and games left remaining. Eastern Conference matchups. As of April 9, 2026, the Carolina Hurricanes and Ottawa Senators appear to be set for a potential first-round clash in the 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs. The Hurricanes have already clinched the Metropolitan Division title, while the Senators recently knocked off top-ranked Carolina to maintain their hold on the final Eastern Conference wildcard spot. The regular season series between these two teams was tightly contested, with Carolina holding a 2-1-0 advantage. However, Ottawa made a statement in their most recent meeting on April 5th, 2026 with a dominant 6-3 home victory. Carolina enters with the fourth best offense, led by Sebastian Aho and Seth Jarvis, who both reached the 30-goal mark this year. Carolina has successfully integrated young talent including Logan Stankoven, Jackson Blake, and Nikita Nikishin, along with free agent acquisition Nikolai Ehlers. Ottawa counters with a high-end core featuring Brady Tkachuk, Tim Stützle, and Drake Batherson. Ottawa has received great secondary scoring from players like Dylan Cousins, Ridley Gregg, Shane Pinto, and Claude Giroux. In a major boost, top defenseman Thomas Chabot returned to the lineup on April 9th after recovering from a forearm injury. However, the blue line remains thin with Nick Jensen and Tyler Clavin remaining out. Despite being in a wildcard race, Ottawa is recognized as one of the best teams at suppressing even strength and short-handed chances. Their primary hurdle has been inconsistent goaltending, though Linus Ullmark has shown championship-level structure when healthy. Goaltender Peter Kochetkov has been on IR for Carolina and is expected to remain out until at least April 11th, meaning the Canes will likely be going with the goalie tandem of Brandon Bussi and Frederik Andersen for the first round. If the Carolina Hurricanes and Ottawa Senators meet in the first round of the 2026 Stanley Cup playoffs, projections currently favor the Hurricanes, though Ottawa's recent head-to-head success and health improvements make them a dangerous underdog. As of April 9th, 2026, the Buffalo Sabres and Boston Bruins are on a potential collision course for a first-round playoff series. The Sabres have snapped their 14-season playoff drought and currently lead the Atlantic Division with 104 points, while the Boston Bruins sit in the first wildcard spot with 96 points. The Bruins won the season series 3-1, though 3 of the 4 games were decided by 2 goals or fewer, including 2 overtime finishes. After a slow start, Buffalo went on a historic 33-6-3 run starting in December to climb from the division basement to first place. They averaged 3.40 goals per game, ranking 7th in the NHL. The Buffalo Sabres are led offensively by Tage Thompson, Rasmus Dahlin, and Alex Tuch, along with a great supporting cast of players including Ryan McLeod, Jack Quinn, Josh Stone, Bowen Byram, Zach Benson, and Josh Norris. Despite being described as leaky defensively at times, Boston has relied on elite goaltending from Jeremy Swayman and timely scoring from David Pastrnak, who recently had an 11-game point streak, and Pavel Zacha, who has also been hot lately. Former Buffalo Sabres forward Casey Middlestat has been a crucial part of Boston's second line and has been a difference maker in the season series between the two teams, as seen in his game-tying goal against Buffalo on March 25th. This series features a clash between Buffalo's Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, who has been one of the league's hottest starters since the Olympic break, and Boston's Jeremy Swayman, consistently ranking among the league's best. While the Bruins won the season series, the Sabres have won 3 of their last 4 home games against Boston by a combined score of 17-6 prior to the most recent OT loss, despite Buffalo being the higher seed. The Bruins won the season series, and Boston has demonstrated the ability to withstand Buffalo's offensive surges, winning 2 of those games in OT. Plus, Boston has more playoff experience on the roster than the Sabres do, with most of their players making their playoff debut. And now a word from our sponsor. Check out my scouting blog at hockeywiz777scouting.com. Listen to my scouting blog podcast on podcasters.spotify.com/pod/show/hockeywiz777scouting. As of April 9, 2026, the Tampa Bay Lightning and Montreal Canadiens are potentially set for a first-round playoff series. Both teams have clinched playoff berths and enter the final week tied with 102 points, trailing the Buffalo Sabres by just 2 points in the Atlantic Division lead. Montreal has been a tough matchup for Tampa Bay in this season, holding a 3-1 edge, with the most recent game being played yesterday. Their most recent matchup resulted in Montreal winning 2-1. Jaromir Slavkovsky scored the game-winning goal with 1:44 left in the game. Jacob Dobes made 17 saves for the win. The Canadiens recently enjoyed an 8-game winning streak. Star forward Cole Caulfield is on the verge. Star forward Cole Caulfield made history last night, becoming the first 50-goal scorer in franchise history since 1990. The Lightning have dropped their first 2 games of this Northeast road trip, losing to Buffalo and Ottawa. They are looking for Nikita Kucherov and Jake Guentzel to reignite their offense. This marks the Lightning's 9th consecutive postseason appearance. Veterans like Nikita Kucherov and Andrei Vasilevsky provide a level of experience Montreal's young core has not yet faced in a 7-game series. Tampa Bay boasts the 3rd best team shooting percentage in the league. Even when outplayed at even strength, their power play efficiency remains a lethal X factor. While Jacob Dobes has been spectacular in recent matchups, analysts from Clutch Sports argue that Vasilevsky is in a class of his own for the postseason. The Lightning are currently playing without Victor Hedman and Brandon Hagel. If Hedman cannot return for Game 1, Montreal's speed, led by Nick Suzuki, may be too much for Tampa's depth defensemen to handle. Predictions for the potential 2026 first-round series between the Tampa Bay Lightning and Montreal Canadiens are split, with experts narrowly favoring Montreal based on recent momentum, while statistically models and betting markets still leans towards Tampa Bay's playoff experience. As of April 9, 2026, the Pittsburgh Penguins and Philadelphia Flyers have split their regular season series 2-2. Both teams are locked in a tight race within the Metropolitan Division, with a first-round playoff matchup between the two interstate rivals appearing increasingly likely. The series have been defined by close finishes, with 2 of the 4 meetings requiring a shootout. The Penguins currently hold 2nd place in the Metropolitan Division, while the Flyers sit in 3rd. Pittsburgh clinched playoff berth with a win over New Jersey, combined with favorable results elsewhere. The Battle of Pennsylvania has lived up to its reputation for volatility. Even without stars like Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin in the lineup during most of their recent clash on March 7th, the game remained high stakes. Historically, Pittsburgh has been nearly unbeatable at home against Philadelphia, earning points in 11 consecutive home games prior to their recent shootout loss. Analysts emphasize the core of Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang, and Erik Karlsson being locked into one final deep playoff run. Led by Matvei Michkov and Tyson Forrester, the Flyers' shocking rise has seen them leapfrog established contenders like the Islanders and Blue Jackets. Dan Vladar has been a primary driver of Philadelphia's late-season push. If he can outplay Stuart Skinner, the Flyers could realistically steal the series in 6 or 7 games. Combined with the rising young talent on Philadelphia has the makings of a great underdog in the playoffs. In the Crosby era, the Penguins won 3 of the 4 playoff series against the Flyers, including the most recent meeting in 2018. However, the Flyers are young, hungry, and eager to dispatch the favored Penguins to claim bragging rights in the Battle of Pennsylvania. Check out my hockey blog at hockeywiztalkshockey.blogspot.com. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at hockeywiz777. Western Conference matchups. As of April 9th, 2026, the Colorado Avalanche and Nashville Predators are preparing for a potential first-round playoff series. The Avalanche have clinched the Central Division and Western Conference titles with 112 points, while the Predators currently hold on to the second wildcard spot with 84 points, fighting to hold off late-season pushes from the Los Angeles Kings and San Jose Sharks. The regular season series concluded on January 16th, with the 2 teams splitting 2-2. The Avalanche lead the NHL in both goals for per game and goals against per game. They are currently pursuing the President's Trophy for the best overall record in the league. The Predators currently hold a slim 1-point lead for the final playoff spot. While they have been inconsistent at times, they proved their stealing by ending Colorado's 22-game home point streak with a 7-3 blowout victory on January 16th. The Avalanche are headlined by superstars Nathan MacKinnon and Cale Makar, along with stars Marty Necas, Devon Toews, Gabriel Landeskog, Nazem Kadri, and Brock Nelson. The Predators counter with a veteran core led by Steven Stamkos, Ryan O'Reilly, Philip Forsberg, and Roman Josi, along with a bunch of young studs like Luke Evangelista, Matthew Wood, and Zachary Laharoux. Besides Roman Josi, the Predators lean heavily on defensemen Brady Shea and Nick Hague, who will log a ton of ice time against Colorado's top forwards. Colorado's Scott Wedgwood leads the NHL in GAA and save percentage, while Nashville continues to rely on UC Saros, who has been instrumental in their second half push. While Nashville has been strangely successful against the Avs this season, Colorado should still be heavy favorites in the season. As of April 9th, 2026, the Edmonton Oilers and Utah Mammoth have concluded their regular season series with the Oilers winning 2-1. While Edmonton leads the Pacific Division, the Mammoth have surged ahead into the top wildcard spot, making this a highly anticipated potential first-round matchup. The series remained competitive until their final meeting, which saw Utah secure their first ever franchise win against Edmonton in a high-scoring OT thriller. The Oilers can clinch a playoff berth if the Anaheim Ducks defeat the San Jose Sharks and Mammoth defeat Nashville in regulation. Utah can clinch their first ever postseason appearance with a regulation win tonight and a Ducks victory. Connor McDavid leads the Oilers charge alongside his reliable co-star Leon Draisaitl and star defenseman Evan Bouchard. Key players such as Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Zach Hyman, and Matt Savoy will need to provide some secondary scoring. Defensively, they will need to lean heavily on Matthias Ekholm, Darnell Nurse, and Jake Wallman. Don't expect these defensemen to score a ton, but they should do a good job of joining the attack and adding to the offensive attack. For Utah, Captain Clayton Keller leads the offensive attack alongside stars Dylan Guenther and Mikhail Sergachev. Expect secondary scoring from players such as Nick Schmaltz, Logan Cooley, JJ Peterka, and Mackenzie Weegar. Defensemen like John Marino and Sean Durzi will also be logging heavy minutes on defense. Goalies will be the X factor in this series. Utah's Karl Vejmelka has historically struggled against the Oilers, while the Oilers' goalie tandem of Tristan Jarry and Connor Ingram have been inconsistent. Edmonton has the top-ranked power play in the NHL, and their elite stars provide an edge in a 7-game series. As of April 9th, 2026, the Dallas Stars and Minnesota Wild are locked in a battle for the second seed of the Central Division, with their regular season finale currently underway as a first-round playoff preview. Both teams have clinched postseason berths, setting the stage for their third playoff meeting since 2016. Heading into their final matchup on Thursday, the Wild held a 2-1 advantage in the season series, outscoring the Stars 9-8 across the first 3 games. Dallas held a narrow 2-point lead over Minnesota for second place in the Central. A regulation win for Dallas would have locked up home ice advantage for their upcoming playoff series. Minnesota entered the game on a 4-game winning streak. Dallas won the game 5-4, with Jason Robertson scoring his 42nd goal of the season with 9:25 left. This puts the Stars now with 106 points, moving them 4 points ahead of Minnesota. Offensively, Wyatt Johnson leads the Stars with 43 goals, while Jason Robertson has 91 points. Mikko Rantanen and Roope Hintz both missed significant time post-Olympic break, but I expect them both to be available for the playoffs. Minnesota is led offensively by Kirill Kaprizov, Matt Boldy, and Quinn Hughes, but they will need to receive secondary scoring from players such as Joel Eriksson-Ek, Ryan Hartman, Matt Zuccarello, Danilo Yurov, and Vladimir Tarasenko. Defensively, the Wild will need to lean heavily on their top 4 defensemen, which includes Brock Faber, Jonas Brodin, and Jared Spurgeon, along with Quinn Hughes. Jake Ottinger has historically dominated his home state Wild, entering the matchup on April 9th with a career 8-1-4 record against them. Minnesota's Philip Gustafsson has been sharp against Dallas, posting a 1.99 GAA across 3 games. Dallas owns a significant edge on the power play with a 28.7% success rate to Minnesota's 24.8% success rate. Most analytical models give the Stars a 64.5% probability of winning a 7-game series. Listen to Hockey West Talks podcast on Podbean and Spotify. As of April 9th, 2026, the Vegas Golden Knights and Anaheim Ducks have concluded their regular season series, with the Ducks securing a historic 3-0 sweep. Both teams are currently locked into a tight battle for the top seed in the Pacific, separated by just 1 point in the standings. The Ducks swept the season series for the first time in franchise history, with 2 of the 3 victories coming in OT. The Golden Knights and Ducks are both within striking distance of first place Edmonton. While Vegas has won 4 games in a row under new head coach John Tortorella prior to their loss to Seattle, the Ducks have recently struggled, going winless in their last 6 games prior to winning their game against San Jose on April 9th. The Golden Knights are led by stars Jack Eichel, Mitch Marner, Mark Stone, and Thomas Hertl. Defensively, Vegas will lean heavily on Shea Theodore, Noah Hannafin, and Rasmus Andersson to match up against top players on Anaheim. The Anaheim Ducks are led by young stars like Leo Carlsson, Becca Snecki, Cutter Gauthier, and Troy Terry, alongside veterans like Mikael Granlund, Chris Kreider, and Alex Killorn. Anaheim leans heavily on their top 3 defensemen, Jackson LeCombe, John Carlson, and Jacob Trouba, alongside Rocco Gudis and Pavel Mintyukov. While Adin Hill has been inconsistent, he has been a proven playoff performer. Anaheim is relying on Lucas Dostal, a young stud goalie who doesn't have any playoff experience. Vegas still possesses a core that won the 2023 Stanley Cup. Analysts caution that experience matters, and the Golden Knights are much more likely to handle the pressure of the postseason than a young Ducks team making its first appearance in years. Despite Vegas technically having a better penalty kill, Anaheim managed to win every head-to-head meeting by remaining disciplined and capitalizing on key even-strength opportunities. A potential first-round series between the 2 teams favors Anaheim in a 6 to 7 game series, but with the way Vegas has been playing under John Tortorella and with the way Anaheim has been slumping, Vegas could hold the upper hand in the series. In my next podcast, I'll be previewing the 2026 quarterfinals matchup.